Hey boys, what's going on? I'm making this video pretty much, it's like an hour after the game. I don't know, I can't sleep. I'm so pissed off. I'm so biased. And I'm in a shit mood. Obviously, Queensland lost. But yeah, I couldn't sleep, so I'm like, while the game's fresh in my mind, I thought I'd just go over the game, how I saw it. And I'm Queenslander, I'm gonna be fucking biased. Any New South Wales person doesn't like that, well, too fucking bad. But I'm not gonna make it as long as last video. I'm pretty much gonna compare them, like each position by themselves, like I'll, Dugan versus Slater, that sort of thing. So let's get into it. First off, Josh Dugan, Billy Slater. I thought Dugan got the better of Slater. Slater was decent. He wasn't as good as in the first game. I don't know if his injury or whatever, but I think it was more the halves and our whole team in general didn't really get on top, and Slater couldn't really find much room. I thought he was good. He looked dangerous at times, but Dugan was solid all night. He didn't make any mistakes, but he also ran pretty solidly. He got a try. Yeah, he was good. Got to be honest. Brett Morris up against... Shit, was he up against fucking Boyd or Chambers? Yeah, he was up against Chambers. Jesus, I just watched the fucking game. But Brett Morris, I mean, he was talked up like no other. I don't really think he did much. I guess he was solid. He didn't really make too many errors or whatever. But I also didn't think he got involved in the game like some other backs. So yeah, he was decent, I guess. Obviously he was better than Daniel Tupou, so yeah, he was solid. Chambers had a pretty ordinary night, honestly. He made a couple of errors and he just didn't... I thought he still ran strongly, he took a lot of hard hit-ups. He was good in that department, but he just made a couple of crucial errors. But I thought Chambers, he's still a good player. He still played pretty decently. Michael Jennings versus Hodges. This was a pretty good battle, honestly. Jennings definitely got the better of him in that first half. The second half, Hodges defended much better. Like, honestly, that first half, Hodges was pretty awful in defense. Actually, it was... I'm sort of blaming Hodges, but I also feel like Cherry Evans out on that side. It would usually be Cronk and Hodges. And Cherry Evans, I think, made it much more difficult for Hodges. And Jennings sort of ran right in the first half. Hodges came pretty strongly in the second half, and Hodges just made a lot of ground at a dummy half like every game. And Jennings was really good. Jennings was probably their best. Yeah, I'd say Jennings was their best player. Yeah, compared to the first game, it was like two totally different players. Crazy. Josh Morris, Greg Inglis. I mean, Inglis just totally fucking destroyed him. I mean, I loved it in last game, right? So everyone was like talking up Morris and giving shit to Inglis. I didn't think Inglis played great, but all Morris did was defend Inglis. Morris literally didn't look dangerous at all. So I guess you could argue that Inglis defended Morris in the first game. I mean, I don't know. Morris didn't set up anything in the first game, but everyone was talking him up. But yeah, Inglis just showed how much of a better player he is, pretty much, and destroyed Josh Morris. Like, I don't know, Inglis... I'm pretty sure Inglis pretty much made all our breaks. He looked very good. He threw one silly pass when he made a nice break, but he was very good. Inglis, people were up him, but yeah, he just showed what a player he is. Hopewade versus Boyd. I'd say they're pretty even, honestly. They didn't really... None of them stood out. I think Boyd still has a bit to gain still. He's been out for ages. He was better in the second game. But Hopewade... yeah, I'd just say they're about even, honestly. They didn't really get over the top of each other, and they both were pretty solid, though. Pierce versus Thurston. I mean, Thurston... he's such a fucking good player, dude. I know he made like a couple of pretty bad errors at the end of the game. I mean, the game was pretty much gone. But Thurston, on every... like... he's such a good player. Like, the kicks down, Thurston is the man there. Like, I watched that one kick where he took Dugan into the in goal, and he's up against Boyd and Inglis, and Thurston blitzes them. he just like works harder than everyone else. He has such vision. Every break New South Wales made, Thurston's back there trying to defend. You know, he set up. I thought he looked pretty good. You know, I think having Cherry Evans outside of him was pretty rough, or inside of him, I guess. But Thurston, unbelievable. Pearce, I don't know. I didn't really think Pearce was that good. You know, with the New South Wales, you never really see their halves in the game. Their forwards were dominant, but I don't know, the halves really didn't do that much, I don't think. Pearce was decent, but I don't know, he was okay. I think Pearce should still be there for New South Wales, but I don't think he tore the game open or anything. Hodkinson versus Cherry Evans. I mean, I'm not going to say Hodkinson got the better of Cherry Evans, because I still think Hodkinson was pretty average at best. He didn't really contribute too much, in my opinion. His kicking game was decent, I guess. But Cherry Evans was, yeah. Cherry Evans was pretty ordinary. You know, I don't think his attack or his play was that bad. But his defense, we really miss Cronk. Like, Cronk is very underrated in the defense aspect. And Cherry Evans just let, like, Hoffman, Jennings, just gain so much ground. You know, he didn't really miss that many tackles per se, but just that side of the field in the first half in particular, he just looked very out of place. Yes, I really hope Cronk's back for the next game. I think, you know, I like Cherry Evans as a player, but he just hasn't stood up in Origin games yet, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. The front rowers, Woods versus Scott, I guess they're the number 8s. I mean, Woods, he was pretty good, I guess. I mean, I guess comparing them, Woods was better because Woods got a lot more game time. Scott did a very... Actually, yeah, I'm just thinking about that try Woods scored. Just a terrible effort by Scott. I mean, Scott was on the field for literally like a minute, and Woods just brushed him off. Like, fucking hell, dude. But, yeah, I mean, Scott made some pretty good runs, but that missed tackle, you know, it was very ordinary. And Woods had a strong game. As much as I fucking hate Aaron Woods, he had a strong game. And he was probably... Actually, yeah, Woods was their best forward. Without a doubt, Woods was their best forward. I fucking hate Woods, but he was. The number 9's Farah versus Smith. I don't think Smith played that good. Smith, you know, Smith does what he does. I feel like it wasn't his best game, though. I don't think Farah played that good either. I mean, he made a lot of tackles, that sort of thing. Bit of niggle here and there, but I mean, Farah didn't really create anything. The odd time he did try to create our dummy half, he fucking failed, getting driven over the sideline. But I think they were both pretty even, honestly. I don't think Smith got over Farah, but I don't think Farah played that good either. Tamo and Miles. I actually thought Miles played better in this game than the first game. And I don't think Tamo was that good. Tamo was decent. I feel like Tamo was much better in the first game, though. You know, he ran hard. You know, he's a massive guy. I think the forwards for New South Wales got well on top of Queensland this game. I thought Miles was pretty good, though. Bo Scott. Didn't really see him at all. I don't know. I don't know why they picked Bo Scott, honestly. I mean, if they pick him to rough up Jonathan Thurston, like, really? Like, you see Scott do the odd late hit on Thurston, but you never see Scott rush up and try to put a hit on any forward. I mean, he's apparently the tough guy of New South Wales, but I don't see any sort of aggression when it comes to anyone of size running straight at him. I mean, Thurston passing the ball or Slater passing the ball, yeah, Scott's a fucking hero, man, but yeah, he was pretty ordinary. I didn't really see him on the field, honestly. I don't know if he got much game time or what, but didn't think he was that good. Aiden Guerra for Queensland, outstanding again. He must have played nearly 80 minutes. I don't really remember him getting a rest, but Guerra, you know, obviously he's going to be there for years and years. I just really like Guerra as a player. Hoffman versus Thide, I guess. Hoffman got a nice high shot from Hodges, and I'll give Hoffman credit. He got straight back up. You know, if he laid down, he would have got a penalty, but You know, Hoffman got up. Props to Ryan Hoffman for that. Not being a dog. Hodges was a bit... I love Hodges, but it was a bit of a cheap shot. But I fucking love Hodges. But Hoffman was decent. I mean, Hoffman pretty much does... You know what you're going to get with Hoffman. No mistakes. And I feel like Hoffman just really terrorized Cherry Evans. Like, I don't think Hoffman is that good a ball runner or anything, but up against Cherry Evans, he just destroyed him. Like, Cherry Evans could not get up in his face and tackle him. It was very annoying to watch. I thought Dide played really good when he was on the field, but I don't know what happened. He just wasn't on the field very long. Like, I guess fatigue happens, but yeah, I feel like Dide probably should have got more game time. This video is probably going on fucking as long as the other one. Let's get on to it. Paul Gallen, fucking shit. I mean, Gallen, like, seriously, keep picking Gallen, New South Wales. I love it when you pick Gallen. And keep passing it to him, like, third and fourth tackles. Like, he just takes a hit up and ruins their attack. Like, when he was on the field, New South Wales looked fucking awful. When he was off the field, they actually looked a bit dangerous. Compared to Corey Parker, Parker was outstanding. The constant offloads, the constant over 10 meters. Like, I was saying Queensland forwards got dominated, but Parker stood up like he does pretty much every game. He was outstanding. Gallen, I mean, whatever, man. Gallen, keep picking Paul Gallen. Fucking, I don't rate Paul Gallen very highly. He does a lot of work, but is that work? Do you need the work in Origin? Obviously, you need plays like that, but he just gets the ball in like the wrong times, man. So onto the benches. Got to say, the bench for New South Wales, it was better than Queensland's, straight up. So Trent Merrin, Cordner, Clemmer, Jackson. I thought Jackson, I didn't really see him at all. I mean, he didn't really provide any impact for them. I don't know if he got much game time. I didn't really see him at all. I don't actually remember him taking a run. I mean, it's not really Jackson's fault. If he doesn't get much game time, that's whatever. Boyd Cordner, again, didn't see much of him. He mustn't have had much game time. Yeah, he didn't really provide much impact when I saw him out on the field either. Trent Merrin, I thought was pretty good. You know, I was happy in the first game they didn't give him much time because I feel like he's pretty dangerous, and he got a fair few offloads away. You know, when Paul Gallen went off for Merrin, New South Wales were that much more dangerous. Like, Merrin, again, another player I can't stand. Like, I don't really like New South Wales in general, like, obviously, but Merrin was pretty dangerous. Clemmer, I fucking hate David Clemmer, dude. Like, okay, Clemmer was pretty strong. I'll give him credit where credit's due. He was strong. You know, he's a massive guy, obviously, and he made some strong runs, a few strong tackles here and there. But the dude is a fucking joke. Like, I fucking hate it that there's no fighting in the game. Like, David Clemmer, like, he does these, like, cheap shots. He's a fucking Gallen clone, pretty much. But he's, like, up there, you know, egging people on and being, like, a hero, whatever. But no one can fight back. It's like, seriously, Clemmer, if there was actually fighting in the game, you wouldn't be as fucking mouthy. But, yeah, Clemmer was strong. An absolute joke of a fucking player. Queensland's bench, Gillette, actually really good. When he came on, he actually looked pretty dangerous. Got a try. Yeah, he got a try, didn't he? Yeah, he was the one who scored. Jesus. Yeah, I thought Gillette was actually pretty good. Lillyman, I don't know why they keep picking him. You know, you don't usually get errors out of Lillyman, but he doesn't provide anything. He really doesn't provide any impact for them. They need to get like Napa, Papali, someone who can provide a bit of impact. Then we got Michael Morgan. You know, Morgan, I didn't think was very good. You know, obviously it's hard for someone like a Morgan to come in and play like back row. Like, he's not a back rower. So I don't really agree with this utility on the bench. And it sort of got found out because Morgan didn't provide anything. I still, like, obviously I love Morgan as a player, but he didn't provide any spark. He didn't really change the game at all. And the other bench player, Oh, Maguire. Of course, Maguire. I thought Maguire was really good. I didn't actually see him in the second half at all from memory. I thought in the first half when he came on, he provided a lot of go forward. He came up, tried to hit some blokes, that sort of thing. You know, he's the type of guy I want on the bench. Someone who's with a bit of aggression. You know, gets up there. Like, he's a Queenslander. I love watching Maguire play. I don't think they used him well in the second half. But yeah, that's the play rate, and well, that's my view on the game. Shit game all in all. Inglis's should have been a try. The forward pass that New South Wales are saying is a square up, that's fucking bullshit, because the one pass they called forward was touch and go, probably touch and go, but the pass just before that one was like 2 meters forward, but they didn't show it. And that pisses me off deluxe, dude, because they're like, oh, well, we should have got a try from the one that wasn't a forward pass. Like, are you fucking serious? The one pass before that was like 2 meters forward. And, like, that English no try, I'm just fucking gobsmacked, dude. I'm just gobsmacked at that. And also, actually in the first half, Morris's try, I don't think should have been a try. He had no control over it, but, you know, whatever. The ref awarded it a try, so they're obviously going to go with the ref on field. So yeah, as you can tell, I'm pretty salty about the game. But yeah, bring on game 3. It's going to be a long 2-3 weeks. I don't know how long it is, but we need a win, man. I can't do another video like this after we lose. So yeah, that's this one done and dusted. Hasn't dragged on as long as the last one. So yeah, fuck New South Wales. See you boys next time.
Which in turn inspired the players